How's it? I'm making some bread rolls, and I thought it would be a good idea to just have a little chat about an article I read this morning regarding artificial intelligence. It's some Google guy that was talking about it, and I must be honest, the more I read about artificial intelligence, the more concerned I become. Now I'm not one of those fearmongers, but I will say that when it comes to these type of topics, what I don't want to do is I don't want to just talk about YouTube fluff. You know, just like I want to tell you the real on the ground, how it affects you personally thing, instead of just the top. If you go and Google why is artificial intelligence bad, you know, what are the top Google hits that you'll find. I don't want to do that. So what I try to do from a personal point of view is approach these type of topics from a perspective of the 99% versus the 1%, because that's what I'm all about. I think that us as common people, the 99%, are always the ones that lose in these type of situations. When a new technology comes along, we are the ones that lose out. It's always the politicians and the governments and the corporations and the rich and powerful, basically. It's them that always seem to come out on top. You know, if you get a little bit of a head start on something, or you seem to benefit from something like this, then all of a sudden there's some law that prohibits you from doing this or something. You know what I mean? We've seen this time and time again about whenever something is beneficial where you get to win, all of a sudden the law changes. I've seen this many times. Anyway, so back to artificial intelligence. Now I know obviously there's a lot of good that it brings into society, or that's what I've heard, like, you know, it might cure some diseases like cancer and other incurable diseases that we have. It might find solutions of how to cure these ones. So obviously that's great. That's a great thing, okay? At the same time though, that is true, right? And at the same time, there's negative effects as well. It's not like it can only be good or only be bad. That's obviously not true. There we go, I need to do this. And the negative thing, the biggest negative that I have read about is job loss. This guy that I was reading about is some Google guy, or was a Google guy or something. He was explaining that if you work on a laptop, if your job entails a laptop, the chances are that in 5 years' time, your job is going to be obsolete. So I'm thinking to myself that means you threw a number out there, like 60% of people of people in the digital realm, in the digital industry, are going to lose their jobs within the next 5 years, and then eventually everyone that works in that with the laptops and stuff like that is going to lose their job. Which I don't know, and I asked this question. This is where I want to go and actually get to. Can our governments combat that shock to the system? Can 50% of people lose their jobs, and then the government have some infrastructure or, you know, process in place to handle that? I'm not too sure, I'm not too sure. Look, I'm in Europe. Okay, so there's no artificial intelligence game here in Europe. Like, I think UK, they started something, or they have some policy that they're talking about starting or something like that. Not too sure. But, sorry, But that means that Europe would most likely fall under the umbrella of the United States when it comes to artificial intelligence. You know, that's just the obvious thing that I'm thinking. It might not be 100% accurate. That means, though, that when I look at America, no offense, guys, but your corporations and your politicians are very good friends, to put it politely. So usually that means that corporations benefit a lot from all sorts of legislation and blah 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 that come through. That would mean, well, you can make some more here, move those across. That means that Europe is basically going to have to, you know, be okay with however America is doing it. So whatever that process is of how you guys are doing your artificial intelligence is how it's going to affect my life. And that means that a few at the top is going to benefit from it. And then there's going to be mass layoffs and mass, you know, there's going to be this unhealthy horde of normal common people like you and I that's going to try and make money off of it and scam people, and that whole scammy online world that exists is just going to be at the level of artificial intelligence. So that's going to be insane. I don't know, man. I don't think that we are in such a safe place with this stuff. You and I never win in these situations. So I don't know how this is going to end up for us. You know? Anyway, that's just what I want to say about artificial intelligence. Don't know much about it, but I'm telling you, rebel. At every chance you get, rebel. Because this system is not for you and me. It's for those that control it. Anyway, keep these about an hour to rise. Put them in the oven. 20-minute bake time. I'm gonna make what did I call it? A Mega 3000 burger. Okay, so stay tuned for that.